Hey, what's up, guys? I've recorded this video like 3 times, but I'm going to try to blur it all out. I can't quite get all the words and all the things I want to talk about or say into a single video. But I'll start off by saying that Monday earlier this week I was talking about it being someone's birthday. I guess you could say this has been one of those rocky weeks that has had some good things, bad things, and weird things. Mostly just some disappointments, on the bad things. And that was because while we're celebrating someone's birthday, there was a bunch of people supposed to come over, and they didn't. And Tuesday, one of my friends was going to come over, one that I talked about not too long ago that I said I haven't seen for a few years. I think I haven't seen him for 4 to 6 years. So it's been a very long time. And, he was going to come over Tuesday, but for some reasons, he didn't come over. And Wednesday, which technically today, or this is what the vlog is for, he couldn't come over he didn't come over because his phone was dead, and he was with a friend, and he had no way to charge his phone. So that's that. And what I've been busy on lately, which I'm going to explain to you, like why I said that, or how I've been making money and stuff like that, is I've been repairing Xbox 360s lately. And I actually did it for quite a while, but then I stopped for about a year or two. And so yeah, I've been doing a lot of repairs on a lot of systems, and I also used to repair computers, and I'm still kind of doing that again, but not quite as much business, many customers calling as before. But anyways, I'm going to kind of give you a little bit of background check now. I guess you could say my freshman year, my parents got divorced, and I used to live way out in the country. The closest stores were probably they were 30 minutes away. Felt like 45 minutes, but they were 30 minutes away, possibly 35. And there was only one place, or a gas station nearby, and it was still 10 or 15 minutes away. And when I lived out there was no internet, dial-up freaking took an hour just to load a fucking game. And then yay, it takes 10 seconds to walk a step, or something like that. It was just ridiculous. But, and, I was used to playing video games all day, and I was also used to walking outside, going in the outdoors, wandering out in the woods and everything, and, possibly walking down some creeks and just looking around, possibly just going in the areas where usually the coyotes would hunt at night, and, yeah, just wandering around. I did a lot of things, a lot of adventurous stuff. It was really fun. And, I think you guys will probably agree that, let's just say you can call me Southern, you can call me redneck, call me any of those things. But it's still a little bit funny just to see, go from that, living out in the country and everything, being outdoors a lot, to never coming out or going outside very much, and being inside all the time, and being around electronics and computers a lot. It's a little bit funny, but that's still funny. But anyways, so that's how things were. And my sophomore year, my freshman year, that was when I, in the middle of the year, that's when, me and my mom and sister moved and stuff, and had to change schools, and it was very surprising. It was very different, and it changed my life in a lot of ways probably. And my sophomore year was when things changed. At one point I repaired one of my friend's Xbox 360s. His system got Red Rings of Death, and I just messed around with it, and guess what? I got it working, and I didn't even watch any YouTube videos for it or anything like that. I didn't. I had experience with computers, fixing them, taking them apart, changing out parts, getting them working and stuff, And, I fixed his Xbox 360. He was so happy and everything. He was like, man, you should do this, all the time. And another thing is that, I guess you could say later, my own system, which I had it when I was away in the country, it finally got Red Rings of Death after, a good amount of years. And I tried to fix it, but, it didn't quite work. So what I do? Look it up on YouTube. And, I was like, I don't want to quite do it, in all these ways, and with my experience with computers, and I saw some other videos having to do, with computers, I was like, why don't I do it like this? And I did things differently, and I guess you could say I ended up repairing my system in a very legitimate way. And it didn't involve Taltrick, it did not involve, X-clamp, or using bolts and nuts and that kind of stuff, or washers. It didn't involve or include any of that stuff. I did everything in a very legitimate and original way, at least, to me. And, there's no BS or anything like that. And it didn't involve anything that would shorten the lifespan of your system. And, I also repaired a couple of my other friends' system. And then over the years, or not the years, but, I repaired some friends' systems, and I remember when, after a while, I guess you could say I was used to buying things on Craigslist. And I remember one day I was just, searching up on there looking for something. And I saw something like an ad for repairing Xbox 360s. I was reading, I was like, wow, people actually do this for a living? And I feel kind of stupid, but see, when I saw their price, I was like, oh my gosh, I've repaired systems before, but good gosh, it does not cost anywhere near that much. And I was just horrified. I was quite freaking horrified. Like, God, all these people are getting so ripped off, and it was just insane. And so I figured to myself, like, well, I have, so I started repairing systems. One of the reasons was because it was going to be fun. It would give me something else to do. And also because, I want to help them people save money. I don't like seeing, this stuff happen when people are getting ripped off, just letting it happen, And, the other one is because, I guess you could say it was funny because that's how I became more social, because I was very antisocial. But after speaking to so many people and everything, just introducing myself so many times, that's how I became a little bit more social. But, and it was a little bit fun on my side, just because, the way I would test out people's systems was to pretty much hook it up, and use it myself, and when I would have a friend come over, I'd be like, hey, man, let me just keep playing on this system, you go ahead and use that system over there and just hook it up to that TV and, forget freaking split screen, let's do System Link. And we would play games a lot, like 17 to 22 hours, and sometimes, I kid you not, that is not an exaggeration. So, we really test out them systems just to make sure they work, like, no joke. If they messed up even once, I would make sure to, check on the system and make sure, even if it's just a drop of too much thermal paste or anything like that, I'll clean it. I'll do everything in such a careful way. But, yeah. But that was really, really fun. And I remember, after a while, I got so busy that I had so many systems that they were covering the entire floor. I couldn't even, go from, the freaking, the front or the door to my bed. My bed was even covered in systems. And thankfully, I had a recliner that can lay all the way back that I could actually sleep on. So luckily, I had that. And I was like, oh, that's so good. I freaking got this thing. And, I was so happy that I had that. But, after repairing so many systems and everything, and at a certain point, I guess you could say some things that were very surprising actually happened. And, the first one was that, I guess you could say there were so many happy customers and so many people, talked about me in such a good way. And, there were so many happy people, spreading good words about me and everything, that it got to the point that I was well known in the community, to the point that it looks like one of the top two, I'll just say top three to sound cooler, top three news channels, in the state, pretty much offered to put me on their front page for their website. So, I was going to be more like one of those people, like there would be like one area, thing you could click on, like need, your roof repaired, need plumbing done, need this, and I was going to be that guy that did Xbox 360 repairs and also computer repairs. So I was just going to be that guy. And they offered me that. I was like, wow, I'm not even 18 yet. I'm still in high school and I'm getting this kind of offer. And that just wowed me so much. And a while later, I got another offer, was to pretty much, it was for a stadium, a baseball stadium. And they offered to do advertising for me, or advertisements. And one of the things I offered to do was to print out shirts, pretty much advertising about the business and everything, and, sell them and stuff. And another thing was to, put me on their screens or the billboards and, those things that go around, offer to put me on there. I was like, wow. And, it was, funny just because, that was, it was on a weekend. It was going to be on a weekend, that game. And that was going to be, one of the biggest games of the whole year. I was like, God, and everybody's going to be there. And it was really crazy, it's like, God, all those people, to see, hear about me and stuff, and just all the advertisements and everything. It was crazy. I'm not gonna lie. It was just crazy. And it was like, oh man, another thing like this. And I'm still, not 18. I'm still in high school, it was crazy. And, I guess you could say, repairing systems, made it seem simple, but it helped in so many ways, and it was just really fun. It really was. And just seeing things like this happen, it was pretty crazy, and it was I felt very lucky. But at a certain, and shortly after that second one, I pretty much moved, not too long afterwards, and or moved again, just so you don't get confused again. But, it was pretty crazy, all the stuff that's happened. And, now, just recently I started putting up an ad for repairing Xbox 360 again, and one of the reasons I stopped was because, I'm not, kidding when I say this, but it seemed like the very second I graduated, business stopped. I'm not kidding. Business just completely stopped. And what I mean by that is that out of 3 months after I graduated, I only got one call. And it was from an old lady that didn't even know what the heck she was asking. It did not even make sense. It was just like a bunch of random words put together, it sounded like, and it was just, it did not make sense. And it was a stupid question, because the question itself was like, one was like, you obviously don't know what you're talking about, which makes me sound kind of mean. I'm not saying everyone's, dumb or smart or not smart, but it was one of those ones that, anyways, but that was the only call I got for 3 months, so I stopped doing it for a while, and yeah, so it was a little bit crazy just to see that, as soon as I graduated, I was making that money and getting customers. I was always busy doing something, during that time, and, when I was in high school, but then it's like, as soon as I graduated, nope. But I'm also looking to, I've been actually getting a good number of customers within the last week or two since I started doing repairs again. It hasn't been quite 2 weeks yet. And one of the other things I'm actually looking to do is to build computers, because that would be a great benefit to the channel, because that would give me products to do unboxings for, reviews, and also do benchmarks, while I'm setting up and installing Windows and everything. I will do benchmarks, very quickly, and it would be very, very fun to do that. And it would also give me a lot of experience throughout different brands, like, oh yeah, when I had that motherboard, I had to do this to make it work or something like that, so I could help people, and have experience that way. And another thing that it would help is that, just generally speaking, I'm not gonna lie, if I could freaking build computers all day, I would so do it. Oh my gosh, it is so fun building and putting together a computer. It feels like, you could say it's a hobby, but it feels like an addiction sometimes. It seriously does. And it's just, I would seriously love to do that. But like I said, if business could get rolling and everything, and if I could get enough systems built to where I could post a lot of pictures, all over the ad and everything, that would be very, very fun. It would be very, very great to see that. And just give you guys a great example, like I said earlier, of, how much people charge on repairing Xbox 360s is, one of my customers recently, they said they went to another place, and they offered to repair their Xbox 360 Slim. They had a disc reading problem, and they said that it would cost them $80 to $120. And then I was like, what the heck? If it's going to be anywhere near $120, you might as well just buy a freaking used system at freaking, I didn't say GameStop, but a pawn shop. You might as well just get a freaking used system in a pawn shop. And he was like, yeah, that's what I thought to myself too. And, I end up charging them only $60, I usually charge less than that, but let's just say it was the most expensive disk drive out there, out of all the ones that they have. So, but it's great just to see people saving a lot of money, and at this point, right now, any money is money, and every bit freaking helps. And it just gives me more money to save up or to just invest into the channel. So, yeah, things are going really, really good. And I seriously hope I could build computers pretty soon, and that will be really, really fun. I'm not kidding. And another thing that I'm pretty much doing is also taking pictures. Pretty much like a photographer, pretty much taking pictures for people, whether it's family pictures, whether they want to have pictures taken for their fiance, and possibly might go to weddings in the future. And the reason, I guess you could say there's a few reasons. One of them is because, I got the camera for it. And the other reason is because, I got all the equipment for it. I got the lighting umbrellas. I also got a, tripod for my camera, of course, which makes sense. I got a green screen. I got a white screen. So if they want me to do special effects in the background, change the background, green screen. Bright and white screen. And, the other reason is just because I have so much experience within video itself and trying to make coloring and brightness and finding a good balance to make things look good, to get the good of it, best and everything. And I've also been complimented by someone that's a professional at tuning TVs, that I did a really great job of tuning all the coloring and everything on the TV itself. So put all these skills together and a lot of experience that I've had, this is, one of those things that can be very helpful. And I just got a customer or someone that called me today, want me to take some pictures for them for their fiance and everything. And it's just great to have all these, skills and experience with a lot of things in various areas and just put them all together for something very unique. So, anyways, that's pretty much it for today, guys. About to run out of time. But thanks again, guys, for watching. I'll probably talk a bit more in the next video. But, yeah, so that's pretty much it for today, guys. Thanks again, guys, for watching. And I hope to see you guys in the next video.